On I-75 North in Scott County near mile marker 125 where that semi-truck tipped over. I'm going to step away from the camera so you guys can see. I'm here outside the hospital right now, still waiting on more information about the condition of that 17-year-old girl who was shot last night. Listen, I've been out here on Winchester Road for about an hour now. Look at how much snow and ice has accumulated on my car. Again, as you guys can see, the roads are still pretty clear and dry right now. Parents here in Scott County have made it clear they are not sending their kids to school today. So when I was here on High Street Wednesday, the flooding was so bad it almost looked like a swimming pool, and officials had to close off this entire intersection. Well, Erica, it seems like people are always complaining about high gas prices, but this week AAA says Kentucky is seeing some of the highest increases in the country. Hey, Erica, I just arrived here on Mercer Road where that fire actually took place, and the name of the business here is called Aventex Corporation. I'm going to step away from the camera so you guys can see the scene. Still a very active scene right now. Emergency responders have been here for at least 15 to... Hey guys, retirement benefits have been an issue for teachers here in Kentucky for a while now, but 2 pension bills are being discussed at 10 this morning by the House Budget Review Subcommittee. Hey guys, good morning to you. What's interesting about this situation is police say when the woman tried to break up with the suspect, he pointed a gun at her head, threatening to kill her. Nothing has really changed with these roads, but I want to show you something, Erica. Whenever snow mixes with rain, it creates what's called a wintry mix, which can be really dangerous if the temperatures do drop again. As I told you 30 minutes ago at 6 o'clock, I'm here on East High Street right now near UK's campus in the Chevy Chase area where police say they were called to that robbery. Now, according to this court document that I have in my hand, the suspect not only robbed the victim but beat them with a bat. Doug and Erica, good morning. As I told you guys 30 minutes ago, I'm here in Mount Sterling right now where Montgomery County fire officials say they responded to a house fire that sent a family of 4 to the hospital. Hey guys, good morning to you again. These cold conditions are extremely dangerous, and volunteers here at 99 for 1 Church say it's a blessing to keep people safe. Doug and Erica, it seems that we've been talking about road conditions for a few weeks now, and the roads are still clear at this point. Nothing has really changed since my last update. Hey Alyssa, it's so cold out here right now, I can barely feel my feet. Now I'm going to step away here and show you guys, and there's also some safety tips from Lexington Emergency Management to help drivers stay safe this morning. It's critical for you to use your windshield wipers, turn on headlights, and use your defroster and air conditioner to keep windows clear. You should also allow space between you and the car ahead of you because it will take longer for you to slow down and stop in rainy conditions. Now, those tips also go for snow, which we might be seeing on the roads this morning. Now, Chief Thomas also tells me that Kentucky State Police will be here later this morning as they continue their investigation. I conversed with Dr. Stephen Voss previously yesterday evening. He expounded on the fact that the blue wave which is a political term, means that the Democratic Party takes the majority of the House. Doug and Erica, good morning. Lexington police say a family of 5 were killed early Sunday morning after being hit head-on by a pickup truck on I-75. Now, according to Lexington police, the crash happened around 2:30, just 1 mile before the Man of War Boulevard exit. Now, Trump is holding a rally at Eastern Kentucky University's Alumni Coliseum tomorrow night at 7. This is the 3rd rally Trump has held in Kentucky since he began his race for president in June 2015. The president is expected to discuss the economy and the importance of keeping the Republican majorities in the House and Senate. According to Lexington police, a woman by the name of Tashonda Blade assaulted her boyfriend while they were both intoxicated. Just for voting for candidates of choice, but voting for change. A huge turnout this morning for voters here in Lexington to cast ballots for changes in the community.
Okay, George, thank you. Last night, of course, election night, and Kentucky's 6th district got national attention as Democrats and Republicans battled for control of the House. In that race, a narrow victory for incumbent Andy Barr, defeating Amy McGrath by nearly 10,000 votes. Our own Travis Harmon-Smith talked to our political correspondent after the race and has a recap for us.
Republican incumbent Andy Barr's victory against Democrat Amy McGrath is the closest race Barr has had in his years in Congress.
Nice to see you all.
Barr narrowly winning while running a campaign much like his previous ones. That's according to UK political science professor and ABC 36 political correspondent Dr. Stephen Voss.
Andy Barr ran a fairly conventional campaign, and hers was very unconventional and broke a lot of rules. First, Amy McGrath herself broke the rules. She didn't have political experience. She came from a different sort of background.
The 2 very different campaigns drew a similar number of votes, with Barr winning by 3 points, 51 to 48, and just 9,738 votes. Dr. Voss says it was a close election, but not because of the candidates on the ballot.
Andy Barr won, but very narrowly. and he shouldn't have had an election that was that close. It's not really Barr's fault. The problem is that it's a midterm year with a president who has very high unpopularity in terms of voters across the country. Democrats were very motivated to turn out to send him a message.
That message of opposition ended up flipping the U.S. House, something Congressman Barr will find frustrating when he returns to Washington.
There's a big difference in the House between being in the majority and being in the minority. You lose a lot of power. In the Senate, things aren't quite the same.
Her office's mission is to completely eliminate homelessness, but that starts with helping people survive the cold.
But a plan was developed back in 2014, and basically what Lexington realized is in our city we are a very compassionate city, so that we have the ability to expand our shelter capacity so that absolutely no one has to be on the streets during these cold temperatures.
With that in mind, her office set out to coordinate funding to expand Lexington shelters and create systems to get people indoors during winter night. She's known for her hard work and dedication, and because of those attributes, Thomasina Grider is making history.
This is actually where my passion is.
On February 4th, the Lexington native became the city's first ever black woman to be promoted to sergeant, but she never thought she would be offered this type of distinction.
I went through the process before and I was on the list, and the list didn't go deep enough to select me. That's a little discouraging because you go through the whole process and the list is good for 2 years.
She first joined the Lexington Police Department 13 years ago, starting out patrolling Lexington streets. She says the work of a patrol officer is what propelled her the most.
In patrol, we respond to all calls, any calls. If you call the police, then we go to the calls and we take care of the situation there. Sometimes you'll have backup, sometimes you won't have backup. So you have to be prepared to take care of the call.
Grider also worked as a detective before this promotion. She says a detective's work is much different than this.
You investigate cases that the patrol officers have initiated by taking the original report.
Grider says her duties with Lexington's police department have changed since she made sergeant, and just like her other promotions, it'll be an adjustment.
It's harder in a way because these are people that I work with.
She also feels making history in this way will open doors for other female officers that want to move up the ranks.
Put yourself in different scenarios and imagine how you would handle that scenario as a supervisor.
Travis Harmon-Smith, ABC 36 News. It's been 20 years since UK football played in a New Year's Day Bowl. That was in 1999 when the Wildcats lost to Big Ten opponent Penn State 26-14 in the Outback Bowl. If you're a college hoops fan, you've probably heard of college basketball rivalries, but nothing like the in-state rivalry between Kentucky and Louisville. The 15-year-old daughter of Olympic track star Tyson Gay was shot and killed after police say two groups exchanged gunfire in the parking lot of the Cookout restaurant. As we reported on Tuesday earlier this summer, the Franklin Circuit Court invalidated Senate Bill 151 not on the merits of the law itself, but on the basis of two legislative process issues. But Steve Pitt, general counsel for Governor Bevin, said, quote, "We are confident that the constitutionality of Senate Bill 151 is supported by solid legal precedent." UK fan and student Travis Adams says the Wildcats had momentum coming into today's game after beating ACC opponent North Carolina last Saturday 80-72. Frigid conditions have once again mingled with the bluegrass air. These conditions have left people without a place to stay warm. Volunteer Tara Hatfield says she's highly concerned.
It's very heartbreaking. Any of us could be homeless tomorrow. We never know. A streak of bad luck. And to have somebody on the street, I've seen veterans out there on the street, and a lot of times it's because they have a dog and they can't take it into a shelter. Right. And a lot of times these people would rather stay on the street. Warming
centers like 99 for One Church in Woodford County isn't just offering food, clothing, and shelter for people in need. They're offering a different blessing.
If they come here, they're going to be safe, they're going to be welcome, and the church is going to provide what they need to stay safe and alive.
But the biggest blessing is providing this special wooden box as another alternative.
This is our blessing box. It's the Go Forth box. Anybody can donate non-perishable items. They can just place it inside this cabinet. We offer a microwave and plates and spoons, and people can come at any time during the day or night and fix a meal.
Temperatures on Wednesday and Thursday are expected to drop below freezing, but these volunteers urge everyone to take precautions in these conditions.
People have to do whatever they can to get inside from these temperatures. They need to stay as bundled up as they can. outside and just avoid going out if they don't have to.